What's your opinion on AA? Alcoholics Anonymous? Is that what you mean by AA, or is there another acronym that I'm missing here? Travis, I'm looking in YouTube chat so you can clarify what AA means without having to give me any money. I'm looking in YouTube chat. I'm looking, I'm observing. Yes, Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't really like religion or mysticism or spiritualism, and I resent the implication that the only way for a person to conquer an addiction is through a higher power. I just don't like that. I don't like that. Look, literally, whatever helps, that is good. If it helps you, if it helps anyone, I think that is good. But it is religious indoctrination. Alcoholism is bad enough that, like, if you're getting the religiosity along with the life management, that's still probably a net positive. But I just don't like that, you know? I think for the most part, addiction in the long run is caused by people being bored, lonely, and hopeless. Like, obviously, chemically, your brain, you know, the receptors and what have you, like, you become dependent on the substance. But I think it's much easier to overcome a dependency if you've got like anything else going on, basically. And it's usually when people, you know, when everything's kind of falling apart, that's when you fall back into it. Yeah, it's a form of escapism. So I think that what's most important is kind of building the systems that allow for people to have resiliency in their life in terms of their social prospects and their happiness. And to an extent, I think that religiosity can play a part in that, but it's not my favorite. Probably better ways of doing that. I've never in my life seen religion as part of Alcoholics Anonymous. Vosh is sheltered. Why be smug when you're wrong? Why, where was this unwarranted, why? Like you, it's fine to be uninformed. I just don't get the need to be performatively, you know, dismissive and mean to a birthday boy with glasses. Thanks for the advice, Vosh. I'm finally seeing a girl I like, and she's the reason I'm stopping. Your commentary on loneliness is spot on. Hope all's going well in your life as well. Hey, I hope that you're able to keep it up, you know? The recidivism rates, that's not the right term, not recidivism, relapsing with regards to alcoholism are pretty high in the long run. But the important thing to understand is that, you know, alcoholism, any kind of addiction, really, you know, it's like setting in mind that you're going to work out or diet or something, where you're like, okay, you know, I'm going to work out, I'm going to eat right or whatever. And then you have a bad weekend, so you pig out and eat like 52 cookies and you feel bad about it. But what happens after that? Well, after that day where you ate 52 cookies, the next day you could just not, you know, relapse happens. Okay. Well, life continues. It's not over. Sometimes I think the focus on streaks is a little bit counterproductive. I'm speaking, by the way, as someone who has no issues with addiction, so pardon me if I'm out of the culture here. But people are like, what's better over the course of a life, right? A 20-year streak of sobriety, and then continuous wavering fluctuations because, like, your wife died, so things like are down for a while, versus like 5-year streak, 7-year streak, 3-year streak, broken up by individual days or perhaps weeks of bad, regrettable behavior. You know what I mean? It's a marathon, not a sprint, is my point. You understand? You know what I mean, right? Like, it's sometimes people think like, oh, well, what matters is the streak, you know, once the streak's broken, that's it. And that's not true at all, right? Like, what practically is the difference between a 10-year streak and 2 5-year streaks? One bad day? Sure. But like 3,500 good days, right? Like, I don't know, like, okay, so you've got like on one, you've got 100% good days with regard to sobriety. And in the other one, you've got 99.996 or something. I didn't do the math in my head. Good days. And, you know, relapse is a part of recovery. Yeah, I'm not just saying it's predetermined. I'm just saying, you know, I just don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just not that big of a deal. It should be treated like a big deal when it happens, but it's not a big deal in the greater conceptual sense. People making a big deal out of like breaks in discipline usually makes it harder to get back on the wagon. You know what I mean? Because then you're like, oh, woe is me. You know, it's all over. All my work is for naught. It doesn't even matter. I'm back in the dirt. And it's like, no, come on. No, you're not. Come on. It's like having like you're dieting, you know, you work out for a year, you have like a bad week, or something. Like, it's not like the year didn't happen. The year still happened. Have another one. You get me. You get me. You get me. Anyway, the point is, good luck, Travis, and we all love and believe in you. The problem is Vosh is thinking like someone who doesn't have addiction issues. Alcoholics don't have one bad day. Okay, you're not wrong. I am simplifying, but I'm trying to simplify to an underlying truth. I understand the complexities of addiction, relapsing. I understand that it's there's like a kind of patterned, recurrent problem there, right? It's not just a one bad day. It's not just like you've been dieting and then on one day you eat a big cake or something, right? What I mean in the broader sense is about like you can still walk it off, you know? I mean, you always can as long as you can walk, right? I'm just trying to spread a positive message about it, you know? Yeah, it's the all is lost mentality contributes to more problems than it solves. It solves zero problems, actually. So far more problems it creates than it solves. That's all I'm trying to, reiterate here, really. You have to be positive. VGG Impossible Challenge, interpret Vosh charitably. That was YouTube chat, actually. But no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine to be nuanced, you know? Quitting's about increasing the time till you use again, till one day you realize the craving's easy to ignore. I think that like a lot of bad behaviors basically take the same pattern, right? Everything from alcoholism to biting your nails, right? It's always like, this is my life. This is how life is. It feels good sometimes, but most of the time it feels bad. That's it. And then at some point you say, enough is enough. And the difficulty you have is usually that like it's reflexive behavior. You don't even like think about it, right? I'm saying that with the biting nails because I used to, but like it's incorporated so finely into how you think and live day to day that you don't even like, you have to fight actively against the impulse to do that. I don't think biting your nails can compare to drinking. I do, because comparison doesn't necessarily mean they're equal in severity. A comparison's meant to illustrate a conceptual relationship. And you've got the underlying solutions, distracting yourself, build a life where it's easier to not have it pop into your head, basically, which is, it's an uphill battle, but all battles are uphill, right? Imagine a downhill battle. You'd look like a pussy. You definitely need a distraction. Yeah, look at what I got from the famous Powell Bookshop. Been looking for this one for a while. Emitora, How Japan Saved American Style. I've been wanting this one for a while. Very interesting to me. You can read? I know. Well, this was a fun discussion at the end there, with regards to Alcoholics Anonymous. It's important stuff to talk about. Addiction's only ever getting to be more of an issue. 50 trillion people die of fentanyl every year, right? Any advice on how to build discipline to be strong and not relapse on bad habits? Honestly, I really genuinely think that not beating yourself up over making mistakes is the most important thing. I think that the effect that self-negativity has when you make mistakes or fall into bad habits, it's essentially like entirely deleterious, right? Because then you get in this like, oh, I'm a bad person. I don't even deserve to improve because I keep like subverting myself and so on. I think ending a relationship or having one ended on you, I guess, is a great opportunity to rediscover the things you enjoy, meet new people. So I think that you should engage in that process, discover or rediscover habits, go to some social venues you might not have otherwise, try new things, evaluate what in your life is, bringing you comfort and joy and what you're kind of holding on to just out of inertial force, right? What you think you need or don't, and just lean into it, right? And just don't take it too seriously, because people get really locked up in this mentality of like, oh, I thought we were going to be together forever. And, unfortunately, no one's actually together forever. We do die eventually, right? And people don't die at the same time either. When they're couples, like there's usually a gulf of time between their deaths. At the end of the day, like your life is a personal process and you're happy to spend time with the people you spend time with, like in the course of that life, right? But, if you take it to, I think if you get too big picture about it, you see the wrong big picture. You're only ever the ant on the log drifting down the river. You are not the cartographer charting the river. Other people might from a distance chart the river, but you're on the log. You're living the life moment to moment, right? So focus on, what path you want to take on that river type shit. But log comfy, I want to sleep. Well, you can do that too. Yeah, I do think that self-directed negativity is often a little bit not like this isn't an insult, but sometimes a bit narcissistic, right? Like we get really in our head about what we ought to be, but we should be I think we should be a little more conscientious of like the not only how realistic these standards are, but also like what living life actually looks like in practice, as opposed to what we think it should look like, and maybe try to adjust our standards in line with that. I don't know. Focus on your positive aspects. Just don't think about it so much. Like, you people compliment me, and I appreciate that. But in my day today, I'm not usually thinking, I'm not thinking about myself that way. I'm usually thinking about like, oh, I need to pee. Ooh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm bored. Oh, I've got some free time. Oh, I don't have some free time. I'm just doing stuff, right? It's not like a grand project of self-discovery, right? That's like a retrospective thing. You look back at a period in your life and you're like, oh, I learned a lot of stuff. I did a lot of stuff. But I think that you build that in the moment by doing things you want to do and being concerned with, things that you take issue with in that moment. But the grand narrative description, I think that can wait a little bit, right? For the most part, like just try to focus on the day by day and don't be too fixated. You don't think about fashion? No, I think about clothes all the time, but I don't usually think about it in like a narrative sense, I guess. It's just something that interests me now,